Coming up, we are going to be going over our last Spider-Man project for a while, and then it will be a brand new day. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Rewatch. My name is Ethan Bronson, and this is where we are rewatching every project in the MCU in chronological order, leading up to Avengers Doomsday. We're watching literally everything so you don't have to. This project we're talking about today, a lot of people wouldn't even think to watch it. We're going to talk about why it may be important, and maybe we have the answer, maybe we don't. Please make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to today. I'm going to get right into it. We're talking about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man show that was released on Disney Plus, animated. Today, I'm joined by our resident philosopher, Brody.
Hello, everyone.
Brody, how are you doing?
You know, I'm a little sick, but this show is a fun binge. While I've been taking medicine, just laying there. This show is a fun binge. Working on other video stuff. But yeah, so it hasn't been too bad. Midterms.
Yeah,
gotta love the midterms.
I also watched this show when I was sick a little bit. It's a good show to watch. You know, when you're not feeling all that great, you want to. I would classify this as a comfort TV show. You know?
Yeah. If I was watching Venom while I was sick, I wouldn't be as happy.
I'm with you. Probably would have prolonged the cold to like 2 more days.
That is true, yeah. Definitely true.
Well, there's a lot to talk about today. I don't know if you know that, but there is a lot to talk about.
Okay.
I know that you do this month of Marvel. Just watched this last month. Really, really good. And I don't want to take away
Thank you.
from the news episodes, but there's some hot topics to talk about.
Hey, we can talk about them as the people that watch this show are dedicated fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this month in Marvel is just for general audiences to get the gist of what's going on. So feel free to go into as much detail as you would like.
So I'm specifically going to take us to the Oscars. First up, we had Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans presenting. And I got to say, I think it was a lot more coordinated than people think. Robert Downey Jr. was wearing an all-green suit. It was the first time that Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans had really been in public before like that, at a public setting. Did you watch the Oscars at all? I didn't, but I saw a lot of the clips.
Yeah, I watched clips here and there. I don't know. Recently, in the past few years, I haven't been watching a lot of the movies that they're talking about, so I don't have much at stake for them. I was more interested in the promotional, like you're saying, for Doomsday and for Star Wars. But
yeah, I do think that was a lot more organized. Having Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. doing one of the announcements was definitely coordinated, probably on the Russo's part or Kevin Feige's part.
Yeah,
they didn't even mention Avengers Doomsday, and yet people are talking about it. Here we're talking about it, you know?
Yeah. I kind of think it's funny because it's like the Oscars is something that doesn't recognize like superhero movies at all. But then you have stuff like that where they're like, it does get people to theaters, and that's the business that we're running. And then they end up letting them do things like that. So it's just kind of funny to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely got me more excited to see those 2 guys on screen. I've seen a lot of theories, like, people diving really into it. Like, what does this mean for Doomsday? I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was cool to see them together on stage.
Yeah.
So, the other thing I wanted to talk about the Oscars, shout out to some MCU alumni? Ryan Coogler winning, was it Best Director?
Yeah, it was Best Movie of the Year, right? Best Motion Picture.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan won an award as well.
And Best Adapted Screenplay, I think, was also for him. And Ludwig, too.
Yeah, I love Ludwig. That was at Wyatt's request that we talk about those guys. I think we got to give them a big shout out. I think definitely well deserved. And quite honestly, in some of the other award shows, I'm kind of surprised that Sinners didn't do better. I think that kind of got
Really?
robbed in some other portions. Yeah. Did you watch Sinners?
No, but it did get Motion Picture of the Year. What more
Mhm.
could it win?
Yeah. I can't really say that this other person who was part of the movie there wasn't a present yesterday. If you're watching the Sacred Rewatch for the first time and joining us on this journey, you haven't seen Haley Steinfeld in the MCU yet, but she was also part of that movie. So really cool to see some movie that's outside of the MCU do well, because overall those actors do grab attention towards the MCU, and it does show that, you know, whatever people want to say that the MCU isn't film or isn't real movies, you know, it's got real actors. They're winning awards, you know? So
Yeah.
that's my piece. And some other
Very
rumors
good.
too. I talked about how tomorrow will be a brand new day. Well, it seems like the brand new day after that, heavily rumored we're going to get the trailer.
For
Spider-Man
Brand New Day?
Day. Mm-hmm.
For Project Hail Mary. Or when are you saying the trailer's going to release?
No, I'm saying Spider-Man Brand New Day. It was heavily rumored that the trailer would come out on Wednesday.
Oh. Well, is that when Project Hail Mary comes out?
No, I think Project Hail Mary already came out, did it not?
I don't think officially. Let me check. March 20th. So that would be is that Friday or Thursday?
Thursday, Friday, something like that. Oh man, there's probably going to be a lot of coughing
would
on
be
this
Friday.
episode, so I apologize.
That would be Friday. So Wednesday maybe, and they just show it a lot on Friday.
Yeah,
But I think Friday for sure is locked in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be.
So,
because Hail Mary. I mean, it's got not the Russo brothers, but it's got Phil Lord and Chris Miller,
mm-hmm.
who are Marvel adjacent. So it seems very likely.
And Ryan Gosling, who's been heavily rumored to be in the MCU at some point, character unknown, but at some point he'll be in it. So
and his rules changing. He was doing that no franchise, no sequel thing that Leonardo DiCaprio does, but now he's in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that rule's changing.
With Sean Levy, isn't he directing it?
Yeah. And Thomas Newman doing the music, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
I love me some Star Wars.
It's gonna be good. I think maybe when that comes out, maybe Effortless Entertainment will finally kick off its first Star Wars podcast. Who knows? Who knows? Let us know in the comment section if that's what you want. So today we're going to be talking about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I was quite reluctant, to be honest, about watching it this early or watching it at all. There's really no reason. We've been told to watch it before Doomsday, but just because it came out so recently, it is directly under the Disney umbrella. It felt quite required to watch it. So going into it, Brody, what did you think this show was going to be? What were your expectations, and how do you feel after?
Going into it, I remember hearing about the announcements of the show, hearing that it might be MCU related, but as soon as you saw the character designs, you saw that it clearly wasn't. But I remember keeping my eye out for it, but I kind of thought it was going to fall into the what if animation style, which is one that personally I don't really enjoy. I think it kind of works just to feel like the MCU characters. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of that animation style. I don't really buy into it and rewatch a lot. In the second this show started, I was like, hold on. This is a cool animation style. They're executing it very well. And as it progressed, I was just more and more impressed with this show. I'm very impressed with the show. Very positive reception from me. And I'm very glad we watched it.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think I ever got the impression that it was going to be like the what if animation style. To me, it always seemed like this was their take on old school animation, like 1960s, 1970s animation.
Well, it's supposed to be like those comics and stuff. But, like, again, a lot of people have been trying to execute that and not doing well. Like, ever
Yeah.
since, obviously, Into the Spider-Verse, 3D animation has been really changed by that. And a lot of people are trying to mimic that design, and I don't feel like that comes across every time. Because the reason Into the Spider-Verse was like that was to fit its style. So we've been
Yeah.
seeing so many movies kind of try to do that, and it's like, that doesn't make sense. You're not a comic book story. Why are you trying to look like that? Where this show kind of breathes a new life to its own style, and it's really fun designs.
What I've really appreciated from animation, because I will be quite honest about this, I'm just not a big animation guy. I love, though, artistic and stylistic decisions that are unique to a project. And as I've spent more time thinking about this one in particular, but as well as like Across the Spider-Verse or it's what's the first one? It's not Across. It's Into,
It's Into the Spider-Verse, then Across, and then
Beyond that's coming out.
Beyond. Yeah.
What I have, you can. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think that we're starting to see a slight transition, or this may be like the Western version of anime, which is really seeing a big revival here in the United States? Is that like anime very much is very artistic when it comes to animation styles, and while though it's not like direct copy of anime, you're starting to see like not your normal 2000s, 2010s, or even like the 90s animation style that you saw in the US for so long.
Yeah, I think some of that is from anime, but I think overall it's just kind of the first generation that grew up with stuff being directly adjacent to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been stuff before, like Buck Rogers would get a movie and he's got a show going on. Like there's stuff like that before, but we had so many Spider-Man shows in the 2000s and in late 90s
Yeah.
that ended up, like, it's just the norm for us to see big franchises have shows like that. Where now we're getting to a point where a lot of those people are getting into the industry that's making them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just going to become more and more normalized because we grew up with it. So I think that's kind of the main thing. Is it's just finally getting the serious appreciation that is deserved of it.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know. I'm just very impressed that they decided to be unique, and it's just not like another animation show. I think it's best if we probably get into it because I do want to talk about the story. So I think we'll do a quick scoring for both of us. I don't know if you have yours ready. I gave it a 10.5.
Too. Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't feel ill towards this show. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
From a justification standpoint in each category, I had a hard time giving it higher than in every particular category, but I feel good about watching it. You know, I would watch it again.
Yeah.
What about you?
I give it a 21 out of 25.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the show, like I said, it just impressed me. Like, it didn't fall into what animation sometimes feels like, which is very repetitive because you're using the same shots to base off of. Instead, there's like very clear and well executed direction in when they do the split frames, like the comics, the outlines. Like there's just amazing camera placement. Like when there's a scene in, like, I think it's the second to last episode where Spider-Man gets thrown against a building and the camera's inside the building and you see him hit the window. Like, I think the camera placement and all that is just amazing. And there's like motion blur in it, so they're not sticking strictly to the 2D design. They're saying, you know, we can do motion blur, we can do cinematic things. And yeah, I just love the art direction. I think shadows is done very well in the show. It's very dark under people's like necks and stuff. It's not going for that clean look. And the banter, I think, I don't know. I got pretty invested in the show. I don't know if that's just part of me just clicked into the nostalgic watching cartoons when I was a kid thing. I'm still young, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the camera placement and all that seemed very intentional. And when I was watching a lot of the conversations, like I was just thinking, I don't know if it's a testament to the MCU show quality, but the dialogue seemed MCU Disney Plus show quality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At points, even more so. Like, I thought they were talking very clear direction, very good performance.
Yeah.
And the characters were very, I think, well executed. You know what I mean? I think it didn't fall into just being nostalgia bait. It kind of was just taking elements a lot from Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Fully understand that, which is totally fair. You know what I mean? If you look at like the old Spider-Man cartoons from around Raimi, it would have Spider-Man stopping the train. It would have those iconic moments retold because that's what people are familiar with at that age group. So having Doctor Strange and stuff like that in this show is just like, well, of course, if a kid's a fan of Tom Holland, sure, this isn't that Spider-Man, but they're going to be familiar with Doctor Strange and Iron Man. So including them here is just going to appeal to that young audience, and I think that's really good.
What I think was really good is going into this, I thought this was going to be like a very closed off Spider-Man story. I certainly did not expect to see any other MCU characters like we've seen before.
Yeah.
And what is impressive to me is that these two things somehow are true at the same time, where this is a never before seen Spider-Man story, but this is also a typical Spider-Man story at the same time. Like that to me is the most impressive part about this show. The perfect example you gave, I wrote this down in my notes. Within, I don't know, 5 minutes of the first episode, I did not expect to see Doctor Strange, you know?
No.
And
with his music. With his music.
And my favorite outfit in the MCU. That just, they know who they were playing
mustache.
to.
He had the mustache instead.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And I do like, I had some questions after that, and they got back to that later in the show, and that was really fun to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, from the opening, I was like first episode and the second episode, I was like, okay, so Aunt May kind of looks like the Aunt May that we know from the MCU. You know what I mean? Peter Parker's, his voice is very, very Tom Holland. You know what I mean? But he's got the glasses. So I was kind of like, where are we kind of falling in with this? I think Osborn, his voice is very similar to Willem Dafoe. So I think it's a very interesting blend. Like you said, it goes in some new directions. I think it's just fun, dude.
No,
I think that's my biggest, not biggest regret, but like the saddest thing is like, I've always wanted a Spider-Man show like this live action. Like always, because Spider-Man shows have been around for so long and they work so amazing because you have time to be like, this student's here, and really explore how many character relationships he has like they do in this show. Like, oh, you get a free pizza, you know what I mean? Like, just stuff like that when he's going and visiting and saving people.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be wonderful to see that in a show, and I don't think we'll see that for quite some time. We'll get Spider-Noir, obviously, but like a classic Peter Parker story like this, where you get several seasons building up who he is. I don't think we'll get that for a long time, just because after Tom Holland, I don't know what their plan is for that, and they have to keep the MCU going.
Well, and I think the unfortunate part about not being able to have a show like this, because, you know, in this first iteration of this show, when they were talking about what this show was going to be, I remember them very specifically saying, this is a prequel to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. This is inside the MCU, because I think its working title or its original title was Spider-Man Freshman Year. Clearly, this is not during Peter Parker's freshman year. Very clearly not Tom Holland. But
I think it is his freshman year, though. Or no, because it skips a year. He's at freshman orientation in the first episode, and then it skips a year.
Yeah.
So technically, no, yeah, you're right. But yeah, no, they were pitching it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously people were complaining that Tom Holland didn't get a backstory.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just very pleasantly surprised by the first episode. And I think the reason why I say like this is a new Spider-Man story, but this is a never before seen Spider-Man story, or the same one, there's so many parallels. Like you look at the last 5 minutes of episode 1, you've got Iron Man showing up. You've got Peter Parker walking into his apartment with left hand free on. And I was like, oh man, this is really taking me back.
Same
then,
camera shot.
Yeah. And it's boom. It's Norman Osborn and not Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like that was just very cool to me. Like, oh, this is going to be cool. I knew Norman Osborn was like a big focal point of the story, but I wasn't sure what direction were they going to go. And to me, like that is how you execute first episode to get a MCU fan that's really on board, as well as like, just a Spider-Man fan, just really on board. And you're like, oh, I really want to watch the second episode.
Yeah. And I thought it didn't feel like it was just using what as a trick. And it also felt more in depth than What If. Sometimes the What If stuff didn't feel genuine to me because it was just like, oh, you expect this, so we did this.
Mm-hmm.
In a show like this, it kind of was making a promise. You know what I mean? It was like, we're going to actually go into this show with what would happen if a Norman Osborn character were to meet with Peter instead of Tony. It's not saying that they're the MCU versions. Obviously, they have the airport battle. They have things like that. Very MCU adjacent. But it's instead of doing a what if, like, boom, here's a shock factor for 15 minutes. This is like, no, we're promising that in this show, we're going to get into that in detail. And I think they did execute that well.
Yeah, and I think about the Sokovia Accords. Like, it was much more of a crucial piece than I would have ever thought. I had no idea that this was going to be like, it is almost like a what if episode, where there's like this one focal point that was different, but there's so many different aspects to it, but you're still able to like see the change in the broader world stories. I don't know, that kind of stuff like really, really surprised me. And it makes me wonder, like, what is their end goal with this? And then like, what was their end goal when they were first developing it? If it really was a Civil War Spider-Man story, in the MCU.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because we have players like the Scorpion in here and stuff. So like, how much could we get into that stuff? Because Scorpion isn't quite Scorpion. You mean when you get to Homecoming? You mean? So, but I don't know. It made me excited to see Scorpion for no reason
100%.
at all. No reason at all. But I don't know. I just thought, like I said, the show just felt very dynamic. You know what I mean? Like the banter felt good. When he gets angry, it feels a lot like Spider-Man PS4, which I will continue to reference because it's an amazing form of Spider-Man, video game or not. But like I said, just if you are actually paying attention and like watching the camera movements, it's not just Spider-Man doing the same moves every time. They build the environment around it. Like from that opening scene where he pulls the ladder on the fire escape and hits the dude with it in that first episode, I think it is. I was like, oh, that's cool. Because like most animated shows, the environment's a separate deal. You know what I mean? So they just have him fight him directly and they don't mess with the environment too much.
Yeah.
But in that, it's like, oh, they're actually taking into account, like, there's a scene where he throws the sewer grate like Garfield. You know what I mean? Not the cat, but Andrew Garfield. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of that stuff where it's like, wow, like, I don't know. I really like the way Spider-Man moves and fights in this. Like I said, the motion blur, like, it felt cinematic at times. It was very fun. And the poses. He would do, like, the landing pose. And I am going to jump towards the end of the show a little bit.
Mhm.
but when he's fighting Scorpion, I believe, and
Yeah.
he's hearing the Norman speech to him,
Yeah.
like he's hearing it, like him saying, "Oh, you need to be strong" or whatever, and he's doing the dodging the bullets as he's walking up, except it's the scorpion tail stuff. I was like, "That's cool," because again, it's kind of like we got into with the other Spider-Man movies. It's like we don't get a lot of movie stuff like that in the MCU. Like voiceovers are rare. If you're doing a voiceover scene, like what the character's thinking, rare, which is why I really liked that in the Andrew Garfield movies, like seeing the vision of what that person's thinking.
Yeah.
So seeing that in this show is really cool. Super cool.
100%. And I think, like, to me, like, what really sucked me in, and it's not because I want this to be just another MCU story, but all the other, like, Easter eggs, you know, mentioning Hawkeye, there being Iron Man mentioned and seen multiple times. Roxxon Corporation, I thought that was a cool little plug there.
That was funny. She's like, if you work for Roxxon, I can't support that or whatever. Red Dead Redemption got a reference.
Did they?
Yeah, it was really weird. Let me see if I took a photo of it. Yeah, dude. It was on like a poster. It was like a pirate version of it. A little Red Dead Redemption 2 reference right there. Of some like pirate ship. Did you see it?
Yeah, what is it? What does it say? Blue?
It says Bluefin Breakdown, and then it's a pirate ship. I don't know if it's a mix of Sea of Thieves. It also says spring 2016 is when that's coming out. So how long was this show in development? Or is that just a reference to something else as well? Who knows?
I think it's a reference to, like, Tom Holland universe. Civil War was around 2016, you know?
Oh, there you go. Good call.
Yeah. Some other notes that I took, I think Peter and Norman's relationship, like, I'd say probably I waited for sure 2 episodes because I thought Norman being a villain was going to be revealed pretty quickly. And then I kept waiting, and then episode 3 came around, and I go, you know what? I'm happy that he's not right now. Let them be, you know? You seeing a new side of Norman Osborn. And I was totally fine with that.
And I liked that it was because of Harry. I thought that was good. Yeah, I mean, just and I really liked seeing Peter actually like look at the rent on the table, try to balance who he's working for and stuff like that. I thought that was really fun. And it is crazy how that kind of leads this whole thing. This whole season's an origin story, and you don't realize it till the end. And that's really weird. You know what I mean? It's weird, but it's something that you could only do in animation. Like, if this was a movie, I'd be like, oh, that's stupid. That portal thing is stupid. You know what I mean? But in a show like this, it's like, oh, like, that's cool. You know what I mean? That goes back to that. That was really interesting. And we get, like, multiple forms of, like, with great power comes great responsibility. I think...
Great respect.
Great respect is what... Does Norman say it?
Yeah.
Norman says that part, and then right after that, he's having the conversation with his friend, and she's like, I can't imagine the responsibility you're dealing with. And I was like, okay, they're writing it in there. But I do like that Norman twists it kind of.
Yeah.
Instead of responsibility, he sees it as respect. He wants people to see him like that. And I thought that was a great, again, not just a what if, boom, we're flipping the line. Did he catch that? It was more like, no, that's how that character would see this.
1,000%.
So it felt way more genuine and fitting. Very cool to me. But yeah, back to that, the origin story thing. How did you like that? Because it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Amazing Spider-Man and the DNA being involved and stuff. And I think it's really cool in this show that it was like, we're going to recreate the DNA of Spider-Man, and therefore they made the spider that gets him. I thought that was fun.
So when the bite first happened, I was like, oh man, I thought we moved on from this, you know? And
I thought we were getting a full origin story thing.
And then because I don't think it was the final episode that they revealed it. It was maybe episode 9 or 8.
Episode right before it. Yeah.
And then, I'm going to be honest, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, dude, bravo.
Really?
You guys did a great job. Yeah.
Well, I just thought it
I
was
was
so
very happy.
cool. Because it makes the season just very, like I said, I think I said this in some of the not Tom Holland, but some of the Spider-Man movies we've been watching. It makes the rewatch so much more enjoyable. You know what I mean? Because now when you're watching episode 1, you're like, that comes back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that? And it makes the Strange showing up out of nowhere, that creature showing up out of nowhere, way more fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just very well executed. Like I said,
Well,
I don't think that would work in live action. I'd be like, oh, that's dumb. Because it would be only in that movie, you mean? But in this show, it was very cool to me.
Well, and I mentioned this at the very beginning, but like the crossovers and it not being a self-contained story to like the perfect extent. And I wrote this down in my notes, but I forgot to mention it right away. We finally saw like a really, really good Spider-Man and Daredevil crossover.
Absolutely. Very true. It was so good. But again, Daredevil's fighting style was so cool in this.
And we got the Daredevil music. I was just like, yes, yes.
But that's such a fun thing, you mean? It's using the musical cues of the MCU more than the MCU does. Like, it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think this show's music is fantastic.
Yeah.
Every time you see the Spider-Man suit in his bag or something, and it plays that little melody, it just sounds like Spider-Man. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. What other things? I wrote down a bunch of references. Like, did you catch the Eleanor Bishop line at it was like the fundraiser or the auction?
I don't know if I did. Who's Eleanor Bishop? I'm blanking. Or is that just Kate Bishop's mom?
Yeah. Remember,
Yeah.
she runs a security company.
Vaguely. I vaguely remember that.
You're with the other first-time watchers of the Sacred Rewatch. We haven't gotten there yet. Probably don't know who Eleanor Bishop is, but we will come across her soon. I don't actually remember.
No, I wouldn't say soon.
Maybe I'm just getting excited. Actually, it probably is a substantial amount of time. Hold on.
Yeah. I feel like we got a ways to go a little bit.
End of June.
Right. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for June.
Tombstone. I know Tombstone has a comic book like history and like is pretty relevant to Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's in the Spider-Verse movies as well.
So
and also he's
cool.
He's a He's a what?
I don't know.
He's yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I guess I do. Well,
do you want me to censor it?
Say
I'll censor it.
Yes, I do. Yes,
Edit. Edit. Let me say that real quick. Going to be played by the guy who voiced him in...
I'm blanking here.
You didn't know that? Hold on. Well,
no.
I guess I can't show an image. You have to look it up because it would be on the thing and I can't censor that.
I'll look it up. All I was going to say was Tombstone...
It was on This Month of Marvel a few episodes ago. A few months.
Tombstone, like his origin... me hearing the name, like I perked up and I was like, I am going to pay attention because I like what they're setting up. And what I really liked was that there wasn't like a finality to him. We're going to explore this more in season 2. I really, really like that. Oh, I do remember Tombstone now. I do.
Okay.
I do. Kind of looks like Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's kind of... DC's got a character, Solomon Grundy, that kind of feels like him too.
Huh.
He's also gray. Lots of gray guys.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about suits for a second. I want to talk about Spider-Man suits for a second. His first, like, real Spider-Man suit, the white one. I had never really seen one like that before. What were your thoughts on that?
The white one, or he's like first suit with
the
like
white
the
one.
pipes on the outside?
The white.
Because that's his. But should we just go through each of them?
Yeah, let's go through all of them.
I really like the starting outfit. It kind of has the Tom Holland design, but I think the web shooter fluid being hooked up on the outside is cool. Like I think that it works in animation. Obviously, in live action, they would get in the way and stuff. But I think here it works really well. It's very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
White suit, not the biggest fan of it. Like I said, I'm not. I don't know. I like classic Spider-Man so much. I don't like black suit Spider-Man. I don't like white suit Spider-Man. I'm very red, blue, and black on my Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think there's a time and place for like these weird takes on Spider-Man suits. I know we haven't watched it yet, but if you have watched Into the Spider-Verse, we eventually will watch those movies post Doomsday, before Secret Wars. But to me, a white Spider-Man suit is really just for Spider-Gwen. That's her thing, you know. Let's not touch that, you know.
I understand like this is a thing. I think before that and stuff, but still for the modern character, I think it's like, I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22. It's like you can't do a Venom type story without having him wear a Venom suit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because then you'd just be ignoring a big part of it. But then you can't include Venom at all. So it's a tough thing. But some things manage it well. He got the classic suit back soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
I do like him constantly thinking of ways to improve the suit. Like that building's on fire and he's like, okay, next outfit's got to be fireproof. After he does the stop, drop, and roll. I like hearing the little notes in his head about that stuff. That scene was amazing. I love that. Like him saying he's on the wrong street and it cuts to the shot outside of what street they're on. And he's like, I'm burning the wrong building. I thought that was really funny. Like that was classic Spider-Man fun stuff. That was good.
So I think, I don't know, this is just a fun Spider-Man story. I don't know if there's too much to dig into it, like how this will relate to Doomsday. You know, I don't know what else really much to say. Really a fun Spider-Man story. Do you have any final thoughts before we get into our quick Sonyverse ranking of everything we've seen so far?
I would say, like you said, very fun. I think it's very bingeable. Compared to a lot of the MCU stuff, the animation kind of keeps it quick. You know what I mean? Again, not a necessary watch, like you said, but I think going into Brand New Day, I think it's decently important to revisit the Tom Holland trilogy and maybe this show, because I think this show lets you appreciate some of the aspects of the Tom Holland stuff in a very unique way.
Yeah.
And I think by comparison, some stuff will be interesting. So I would recommend watching this.
100%.
Not necessary, but I would recommend highly.
Yeah. And I'm just excited for season 2. Don't have much expectations for it. I'm just kind of expecting for it to just be fun. You know, and that's okay.
That's also my biggest note. I would watch this going forward, for sure. Like, and I will probably rewatch some of the stuff from this show. More so than a lot of the other MCU things, so. Well done there.
100%. All right. Do we want to get into our Sonyverse rankings of what we've watched so far?
Trying to get some stuff down here.
10 projects total. Is that what you have?
10 projects?
Yeah.
You have them on your phone? You screenshot and send them so I can make sure that I have them all.
We're killing time here. We're killing time. In the meantime, while this is sending over, I'll do a quick breakdown of what we've got coming up next week, as well as the next couple of weeks. We're getting to the later half of our part 1 of Multiverse Shenanigans. We've got Fantastic Four from the 2000s with Chris Evans playing Human Torch. Got the sequel of that, Fantastic Four Silver Surfer. And I know Brody's favorite Fantastic Four movie, Fantastic Four Stick, whatever it's called. The Fantastic Four, where they decided to replace the 4 with an A.
Not my favorite.
Or an A with the
Not
4.
My favorite. Yeah. Not at all.
I'll just make sure to put that on the record. That's your favorite Fantastic Four movie. And then we're going to be watching the Blade movies the week after. And then we cap it off with the 2000s iteration of Daredevil and Elektra.
Electra. What a show. Or movie,
And
sorry.
and Blade. We're gonna have a special guest on.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wesley Snipes.
Yep, I got him. I booked him.
Heck yeah. Only ever gonna be one Blade.
Did you get my text?
I did. Are we going bottom to top or top to bottom?
I say we go top to bottom. We normally do bottom to top. And top to bottom may make it quicker, too.
Okay. Let me count my projects up here just to double check. Okay. I should be good.
Okay. All right. What do you got for number one? I'm curious to hear your number one.
I put Homecoming.
Okay.
As I just had to. I feel like people hate on the Tom stuff and all that, but at the end of the day, I think that captures the youth aspect of Spider-Man. Like, you
Yeah.
can complain about the origin story and stuff, I understand that, but at the very least, him being a kid is the biggest aspect of his character. So I think that captures that the best. In the setting of the homecoming dance, like, I think the school aspect's very important.
If you would have asked me before we started Multiverse Shenanigans what my rankings was going to be, I would have thought you're kind of crazy for what my current iteration is right now. But yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming, I think that's the best project we've watched so far in the Sonyverse. I don't really think there's much of an argument, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
It's just superior in quality,
I would
story.
say Spider-Man 1. I would say Spider-Man 1's close because Willem Dafoe and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just classic Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
Which is why that's my number 2, just while we're going.
Yeah.
That's one I grew up with.
I think that's what going into this, that's what I thought my number 1 or number 2 project would have been.
Yeah.
And as you know from our Spider-Man episode, go check it out if you haven't. I just wasn't that impressed. Maybe I was hyping it up too much. Maybe that was my problem. But my number 2 was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That movie
There
just
you
gets
go.
better and better every single time I watch it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, I'll turn it on, like almost reluctantly, like I've seen it before, but it just gets better, you know? Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx is incredible in that movie. Andrew Garfield, really good. Emma Stone. There's
Yes,
only
for
one
sure.
gripe with that movie, and it's Harry Osborn. He sucks in that movie. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just awful.
I'm changing my ranking, not because of yours, but more just because I thought about it for more than 5 seconds because I was just listing them out. So I'm allowed to change it. Number 2 is actually going to be Amazing Spider-Man. Because I do love classic Spider-Man. Like I said, that's one I grew up with Tobey.
Yeah.
But watching Amazing Spider-Man full on for the first time, just, it hit the Uncle Ben and all that stuff better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the fighting the lizard in the school, like, it has a good mix of the aspects that make Tom Holland's movies good and what makes Tobey's movies good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't know, I just really like I said, the cranes at the end helping him, him trying to hide his face, the Gwen Stacy's dad stuff, an actual romance story that works for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I will have to put Amazing Spider-Man 2 and then move Spider-Man down to 3rd.
I can understand where you're coming from. I wasn't a particular fan of The Amazing Spider-Man, so I won't talk about where it is just yet. But props to this show, man. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was 3 for me. I was very impressed.
Sweet. That's
very
cool.
Impressed. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
And especially, like I said, for that to be my 3 project, for a guy who is quite public about not really being into animation, that you gotta give it props. It was well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Number 4, I'll go to number 4. I put Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire. It's good.
There you go.
Willem Dafoe, Tobey, like their relationship and dynamic, Really, really good. Carries a lot of that movie, but there's still some negatives, I think. MJ and Peter's relationship is just kind of lackluster. Really just from
Yep.
an acting perspective, like they just don't have chemistry.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that pretty in depth to this point.
Yeah. Number 4, I got Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm.
I agree with you. I really do enjoy it. I think it's really fun, man. I love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Yeah. So we're 40% through, and none of us have answered with a Venom movie. So I'll do the honors. At number 5, I have Venom 1.
That's very impressive for me. I'm surprised to see that, to be honest.
I would have thought that Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, would have been the first Venom movie or the highest Venom movie, but the first one did it for me. The first one did it enough, I would say. Not really saying I need to watch any of the Venom movies again anytime soon, but that's how I feel.
It made top 5.
What did you got at number 5? Yeah, it did.
I got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Yeah, I got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think obviously it's animation, so it kind of has an instant, not the same gravitas as a movie.
Yeah.
But like I said, it executes everything very well. Very impressed to see that show. Highly recommend.
Yeah. I would agree. At number 6, I have Spider-Man 2. For me,
hey, same.
Doc Ock does the heavy lifting in this movie. Without Doc Ock, this movie is down there with my very last place one, which I'm hopefully thinking that we have the same last place. And that says a lot.
Oh, really?
That says a lot. But yeah.
I think we will. Yeah, okay. Spider-Man 2, I think it's really fun. I think Doc Ock's a lot of fun. A lot of classic Spider-Man, him stopping the train, really fun stuff.
Yeah, the
it's just not
iconic
a movie
scenes
that
are just limitless.
Yeah, it's just a movie that I kind of have a separation from. I watched the first one a lot. I didn't watch the second and third one a lot for the Raimi trilogy. Pretty much at all when I was watching the first one growing up. So I do have like a separation of like, I just don't feel like I can buy into it as much as other people can that did grow up with the full trilogy.
Yeah.
That being said, it doesn't really do anything, I think, terrible. I think the stuff with Peter is really good. I mean, kind of sometimes the only times we see that stuff live action of him really struggling in that way. But at the same time, I think the other projects just do it a little more fluidly and better. Not that there's anything wrong with, I mean, there is problems with it, but you know what I mean? It's not a bad project. I wouldn't blame anyone for putting Spider-Man 2 higher.
I would agree with you. I would agree. What did you have at number 7?
Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Just because it's still live action. It's still Raimi. Sandman effects are really cool. Some fun stuff there.
Yeah. For me, Spider-Man 3 is just too crowded. We talked about this already, but
completely agree.
Too much going on for me. I think if they were able to eliminate at least one of the villains, it may have been better.
Yeah.
There's just
opening
too much
fight
going
scene.
On. Yeah.
Yeah.
At number 7, I had The Amazing Spider-Man. I just have never really been into this movie. Tried to really focus this last time, still couldn't do it. So that's at 7 for me. All right, our bottom 3. What is the highest of the bottom 3 for you?
Venom 2.
Okay.
It's a bad movie, but hell yeah, it's got Woody Harrelson.
And
that does
minutes.
A lot. And that does a lot to help a movie.
I also did that. I also put Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
It's like watching The Room.
Yeah.
it's bad, but I guess it's better than the other stuff.
100%. At number 9, I had Spider-Man 3.
Oh, yeah. No, completely fair. I'm not a huge Spider-Man 3 fan.
Yeah. What did you have at 3? Or at 9, sorry.
Venom 1.
Okay. I can understand that.
I'm not a big
I can
Venom
understand
fan.
that. I get it.
at all.
I get it. That trilogy doesn't really do itself any help by trying to get people to be Venom fans, you know?
Yeah.
And that takes us to our same last place at
Wow.
number 10, Venom, The Last Dance.
It's a movie.
What is Soups or Soup S say? I just want to thank the filmmakers for doing a great job on the movie. Putting all their time in. Yeah, whenever there's like a bad movie and people say that when he says, you know, I just want to thank the filmmakers for dedicating all this time to the movie, people are like, oh no, it's not good.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's it. That's all you need to say.
Movies.
I don't know. It's just like,
But Spider-Man's fun, dude. The amount of times I can be introduced to a new Peter Parker and still love his character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember even back when everyone was like, oh, we're getting a new Spider-Man in the MCU. This is going to be good. Because that's this big, I don't really remember a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man stuff. I was kind of tunnel vision on Raimi, and I never really saw any of the Amazing Spider-Man stuff happen other than some Happy Meal toys here and there.
Yeah.
But with Tom Holland, I remember people being like, you mean they're introducing a new Spider-Man. It's not going to be fun, whatever, right? It's not going to be the right one. And instantly, once you get Peter Parker and you get the familiar setting of his apartment and stuff like that, it just falls into place. You know what I mean? Unless there's a big misdirection in where they're going with the character. You know what I mean? But like any of the animated Spider-Man shows, once you click into that Spider-Man, that's Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is just such a good character that, I don't know, it's hard to not enjoy a Spider-Man on screen to me. It's very hard to like full on miss one.
Would you say Spider-Man is your favorite Marvel character?
Favorite superhero character for sure. I just think he has, I don't know, a lot of people will say Batman overall for superheroes, which I think is a really good take, obviously. Like, I mean, those are the two.
Yeah.
Like, people, I don't know. I'm still not a huge, I know a lot of people switched over to Superman fans when Superman came out. There were some Superman fans before that, but I wasn't a huge, like, that movie was good, but I wasn't a huge Superman fan. But I just think, I mean, it might change with time, but Peter Parker's always just been like, I really feel bad for this dude. You know what I mean? When he gets in tough spots. There's just a part of that you can't change. Like, I get bummed for Batman when he's going through tough stuff. I think it's interesting to see, what will Batman do to handle this after he's just had that emotional hit.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I'm like, just fully bought into, like, this sucks, dude. Like, this is happening to a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that's an emotional integrity that Spider-Man just holds above the rest. You know what I mean? Because he really doesn't owe anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Not that Batman does, but, like, he is a dude already in a position of power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even him doing the nice stuff is, like, not a low bar. Like, he doesn't have to do it either, but there's just an aspect to the Spider-Man character of he won't make his suit out of expensive materials. He'll start with a hoodie or cloth or something first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he'll just be trying to make it work. I don't think that aspect. I think his backstory is a little less interesting than Batman, because obviously his parents don't really matter. But I think once you get to the concrete, him in his apartment with his Aunt May, Uncle Ben, just trying to do the right thing, I think is just fundamentally just such an empathic character that your emotions just kind of bounce off of much easier than Batman or something to me.
I would agree. I wouldn't say that Spider-Man is my favorite superhero character.
Who is it? Just curious.
I'm probably going to say Loki.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. But I can't blame you at all.
Loki or Superman. If you want me to pick
There
from
you
the
go.
DC.
There you go. I'm a really big, well, you know this. I'm a really big Captain America fan, too.
Mm-hmm.
So Captain America might even be above Batman for me. It might be Spider-Man, Captain America, and then Batman.
But
Batman's
number
really good.
three, maybe Doctor Strange. Like, he's up there.
Really? I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say Carnage, played by Woody Harrelson. No? Not Venom by Tom Hardy?
No.
Wow.
No.
It was this close, too.
Yeah. Well, I think we've got about 3 months until our next Spider-Man project, where we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Really? When does Spider Noir come out?
Well, in context of the Sacred Rewatch, we've got about 3 months.
Okay.
I think we've got
I gotcha.
our next Spider-Man project in Illuminati Takeover in like a month or two, right? I think that's
Something,
Spider-Man.
something like that. What am I, the news guy?
Come on, man. Well, you got anything else before we wrap it up? We're going to be talking about Fantastic Four Silver Surfer, Jesus, and the 2015 rendition of the Fantastic Four. I almost read off what I have it written down on my sheet. It's not very PG. It's not very PG. It's PG-13. You can edit this, but I had it Fantastic Act, and I almost said it like normally. I was like, Fantastic Act. That's what I have it down for the 2015 Fantastic Four.
Oh, man. Clearly talking about Chris Evans, because that's America's ass.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Sacred Rewatch. We hope you enjoyed diving all over the timeline with us. Catch us next week, where we are talking about Fantastic Four Silver Surfer, and Fantastic Four 2015 edition. New recap episodes are coming out every week leading up to Avengers Doomsday, wherever you are in the multiverse. Thanks for making the Sacred Rewatch part of your journey. For all time, always. See you guys.